Hey guys, so I just finished my first ever Outschool class and I wanted to do a quick review of the platform and my teaching experience while everything was still fresh. I'm going to start with my review of the platform itself as a teaching platform. If you don't know already, Outschool is a platform where teachers of all kinds, you don't have to have a teaching degree, you could teach academic courses, you could teach anything that is a hobby, or they even have social clubs. I mean, there's so many things that teachers teach on Outschool, but it's an online platform. You design your classes, so it's not like VIP Kid. It is not like an ESL platform. You design the classes that you want to teach. You decide the age ranges that you want to teach. You list those classes with Outschool. Outschool advertises those classes for you. You can also do your own advertising on the side, and I'll do a separate video about that later. But the platform and the ease of use is really great. So yes, I designed this class. My first class was a standalone class. It was a one-time class on the Olympics because the Olympics are coming up soon. Kenzie was really interested in it, and I love the Olympics. It's actually my very first class that I taught in person. Was on the Olympics back in 2016. I opened with a lesson on the Olympics. So it's kind of like full circle for me that it was my first class on this online platform now that I'm leaving brick and mortar. But anyway, I was super psyched about this class. So I spent all day last week, it was like Thursday, planning this class and creating the slides in Canva, learning about Nearpod, which I'm definitely going to do a video on soon because I loved Nearpod for online teaching, and so many applicable in-person lessons can be made with Nearpod as well. But I designed this lesson and I was so excited about it. Super psyched, put hours into it. I went ahead and posted it 2 weeks out as a listing because that's what Outschool says to do, because they need time to advertise it and try to get learners in your classes. I went ahead and sped up the process because I was so excited about teaching. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to teach it. I recruited some family and friends to go ahead and join my classes so that I could get some experience teaching it in the platform before I had a lot of learners from outside of my family and friend group signing up, just to make sure that I was good with the platform. But I'll tell you, I would have been fine with or without. So today was really low key. I had both of my kids, which were both in the house. So like I'm in the office. The kids are both at separate computers in the living room and the office. So they were on their computers. We're all streaming on the same Wi-Fi. It worked. Everything was good, except for one issue, which I'll describe later. But we had a really good time with my cousin's daughter. She logged in from Tennessee and did the class with us. And so I had 3 learners, which was really perfect for me, especially the first time. It was easy to manage. I also know them, so it was easy to manage. Now, not always, because, you know, if you have your own kids, having both of them or several of them in the same situation is not always great. We did have a slight issue that didn't affect the class, but it was a really good experience. So Outschool uses Zoom as their teaching platform, and it's already inside of your Outschool classroom. So you don't have to do anything extra. You just click on the link, open it up, and admit the students into the Zoom. They do the same thing on their end. Super easy. I used Zoom when the pandemic first started because nobody knew what to do. So I tried a couple different options, and I tried Google Meets and I tried Zoom, and Zoom was just the one I liked. So I stuck with it. Then once the 2020-2021 school year started and the school district started mandating things, that's when they switched to the Google for everything. And I'm a Google trainer. I love Google. Google's great. I prefer Zoom over Google Meets. I just do. So the interface was great. It was really easy for me to use, even though I've been using Google this past school year. It was not a problem. So using Zoom was so easy. I shared my screen the entire time. We also used Nearpod. So the students or the learners did have to either split their screen so that they could stay in Zoom and use Nearpod, or they could use Nearpod and open it up on another device, which all of the learners, I think, chose to do. Kenzie used her iPad, Dalton used a phone, and Leah used an iPad as well. So all of the learners decided they were going to do it that way, but you can also go ahead and drop the link to whatever you want to use, whether it's Nearpod or Blooket or Kahoot, into the chat. The kids can open it there, and then they can just split their screen and go back and forth between the screens. I split my screen so that I could look at my Nearpod and I could look at whatever else I needed to in the chat, and I shared that with the kids. Probably need to get a little bit better at that so that I'm paying more attention to what they're viewing on my screen, because I did go back and forth between Nearpod, Blooket at one point, and then back to Nearpod. So I need to be more aware of what I'm sharing when I'm sharing it as far as my split screens. But that'll just come with time. I will say this, getting them on Nearpod at first takes some time. So you definitely want to account for that in your lesson planning. It took a little bit just to get the 3 kids in there and make sure that they were good. I had grand plans of having them also use a Mentimeter later on in the lesson. And I feel like there was one other site we were going to use. I don't know, but no go. If you're going to use 1 or 2 sites outside of the Zoom, then that's cool for this age group. I set it from 8 to 12, probably 9 to 12 would have been a better range, but they do not need multiple platforms to be switching between. So the Nearpod and the Blooket, that was plenty. I would not have them go into other sites outside of that. Nearpod can do almost everything that you want it to do. And so the Blooket was kind of just me being extra, but I do enjoy it. And the kids enjoyed it a lot. So it was worth it. But if I had more kids in that class, I think it probably would have taken a lot more time to make sure that everybody was on board. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is over planning. So for this lesson, like I said, I went all out. Like I had everything ready and I was like, oh, is this going to be enough for 45 minutes? Yes, it was enough for 45 minutes. I actually had an entire section at the end I didn't even get to, which is totally fine. I'd much rather have too much material than not enough. Kids love games. So if you can just come up with like a themed Kahoot, and you could do Kahoots with younger kids with pictures, things like that. Anything that's close to your theme will be fine. Just make sure you've checked it ahead of time or you created it. Have one of those ready in case you don't have enough content for the time that you've stated, because you don't want to end that class early. Otherwise you'll get bad reviews. Parents won't want to use you in the future. So always over plan. I definitely over planned. I have a bunch of stuff I'm actually going to take out. I was a little bummed because, like I said, I poured my heart into this, but now I know, I have a better idea, because I didn't plan like this for classes when I was teaching online in brick and mortar, because I didn't have time. I was trying to teach those classes online as well as teach my in-person kids. And so there was not enough time for me to pour my heart and soul into these classes this way. So the planning for this is very different, because you are trying to engage and build your business. So it's a different kind of planning, but you'll get used to it. I know that I'll adjust over time, but I definitely overplanned and I have some stuff to take out. 3 was super manageable in this class. I have it going up to 9. If it fills, we'll see how that looks like. But from a classroom management perspective, these kids were really good. So I am going to have to work with like the expectations and the muting and the unmuting and all those things. I think will come with the more kids that I have in my classes. Both of my kids they enjoyed it. They thought it was great, but the game was an issue because my kids are super competitive. So Kenzie lost in the middle of the lesson, and then she kind of shut down. And she wasn't terrible. She didn't do anything crazy, but she was upset. So that was the thing. And so we talked about it after the lesson, but that would not have been a thing if the children were not mine, probably. But you do want to consider what that experience is like for the kids. Maybe have a variety of things that all of your kids can be good at, give them a chance. Kenzie's review, she liked the competition. She liked the Blooket game. She felt like she learned a lot, and she really liked the video clips. I included a couple video clips, like showing the different events that I thought were like weird events. And she liked that part. And so I only did that twice. So I think I might do more of that in the future, because she said that was great. She disliked that her brother could freeze her in the Blooket game. So she wants him to take that out. Dalton said he liked everything because he didn't feel like talking to me, but he really liked the Blooket. He said it was fun. It was better than regular school. He wished there was more people and maybe some more older kids. So I do think maybe it might be good to kind of close those age ranges a little bit. We keep them pretty open. Outschool allows up to 5 years in the age range, and we keep them open so that we can get more enrollments. But he did wish that he had more kids that were maybe closer to his age. And I could definitely see that being a thing. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions about Outschool and you'd like to enroll your child as a learner in any classes, you can follow the link in the description. That link will give you $20 off any classes that you choose if you're a new Outschool participant. And if you think you're interested in teaching some Outschool courses, there's a second link in the description that will allow you to do that. And if you get in touch with me on my email, then I will also be able to talk to you about how to get hired with Outschool, what that process looks like, and answer any of your questions and kind of help you through the process. So check out those links in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe if you are an online teacher or a brick and mortar teacher interested in technology, engagement, and anything else, math, learning. Thanks.